Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Ruch Report with the man himself, Brendan Ruch. How are you, Brendan?
Doing well, Marvin. Thank you. How you doing?
As always, just trying to stay out of trouble. And how have things been on your home waters the last couple weeks?
Been dropping pretty consistently into like nice early summer flows. Got a little bit of rain today. I would imagine the smaller water is going to bump a bit, maybe get a little bit dirty for the next couple of days, but that's a good thing if you want to get out there and throw some streamers.
Yeah, I was going to say that sounded like maybe the thing you were so excited about was having all that high water to fish streamers was kind of going away from you, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be turning into more of a topwater bite and or crayfish and smaller bait fish, slim profile stuff.
Gotcha. And so when you say topwater, are you talking like topwater like frogs, or are you talking about topwater bugs?
Bugs, for sure. The frog bite kind of goes away with the streamer water, the bigger streamer water that is. But yeah, I mean, you're still fishing pretty large boogle bugs, like the largest size they make. They'll eat them most of the summer.
Got it. Well, your friends came in for you because you got some really great questions, and I think I told you the asshat to non-asshat ratio was 1 to 2 or 2 to 1 if you go non-asshat to asshat. And the funny question is from one of your buddies, I guess it's Shagbark Sheriff, and he wanted to know how you listen to the Smiths on the water and not get so sad that you can't catch anything.
Well, first of all, shout out Sam Reedman. I appreciate the question. I mean, if you're in the mood to listen to the Smiths, you're already sad. So I don't think that's going to affect how you fish, because you were going to fish the same way either way. I think the Smiths just gives you a little bit of a boost. You get a little bit of like a bass line and some drums to kind of maybe add some consistency to your casting cadence and your stripping cadence. And you can sing along too, so you don't have to be sad by yourself.
Yeah, but it's it doesn't make you want to like grab the anchor and just roll over the gunnel.
No, never. No. Morrissey's voice counteracts the lyrics. That's the nice thing about the Smiths.
There you go. And so in a slightly more serious vein and actually related to what you're seeing on the water, Jay Wynn wanted to know, do you target shade lines when you topwater fish in the summer, and also kind of some thoughts around, the optimal depth to fish topwater?
Definitely targeting shade lines when they exist on good banks. There are some like silty, featureless banks where maybe I'll just kind of pop out and fish that first drop structure. I mean, you could be looking anywhere from a foot to 5 feet. Bass will definitely notice a cork bug slapping on the surface, within 10 feet of them or so, maybe even a little further, when the water is super placid, and typically it's going to be pretty clear when you're fishing that stuff.
And so do they generally like to sit on the edge, or are they going to sit inside from the edge and move to the bug?
In the shade line you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would definitely get it a few feet, maybe 2 feet inside the edge, but I have had fish move out of the shade line on, watching a cast that didn't get there all the way. You can see a fish poke its head out and come up and sit. I'd be going 2 feet in, though. 2 to 3 feet.
Got it. And I would imagine depth is probably a function of water clarity.
Yeah. I mean, in the shade line, they can sit in some really skinny stuff. I think it's just going to be more productive if you have like cobble rock bottom, or some, a shade line that's going to be covering some boulders and maybe a log or two.
Got it. And then I'll, ask you, are you a no twitch the bug or twitch the bug kind of guy?
I'm in between. I'm a twitch the bug, and if you twitch it too soon, I'll say, all right, give it like twice the amount of pause, and then I might say, all right, give it twice that amount of pause. It's kind of like, that's one of those things where I feel like Goldilocks, like it's too hot or too cool. Like, it just doesn't feel right sometimes, and when it does feel right, it's usually when it gets eaten, as far as like the length of your pause.
Yeah. And I would imagine, or you're probably just trying to wiggle the bug just enough really to just kind of move the legs and disturb the surface just a little bit. You're not popping unless you're fishing a popper, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if I am fishing a popper, a lot of times I'm doing that kind of leg bending movement. Um, I think it depends on the speed of the water and the depth of the water. Like fishing some faster rivers in the past, like faster than the stuff that I fish in South Central PA, you can definitely pop a little bit louder and a little bit more often when you're in some faster current. And then when you're in that really placid, flat water that's not moving a ton, I just don't think you need to pop, because a fish is going to respond to your fly landing. And if it's starting to come up and you might not even see it, but bending the legs and creating a little bit of a wake is going to make that fish commit.
And I would imagine you're probably doing that with just a little tap of the rod tip. You're not moving the line hand, right?
Yeah, I think if you strip it, then you are more likely to get drag on the fly. Just like you would if you were trying to dead drift a dry fly, you're not going to do any sort of stripping. You're just going to be feeding line. So typically what I recommend people do is just raise the rod tip until they see the legs move and then drop it immediately. So that slack kind of stays in the system, and the fly isn't going to start swinging out if there are more than one currents, or if there's a current that's different in between you and your fly.
Got it. And, as you kind of start to move into the warmer days of the summer, what do you think the next couple of weeks are going to hold for you in Pennsylvania?
The forecast is looking good. I think we're going to definitely be going into the summer program pretty quickly. Flows that I'm looking at are more typical of like a solid summer flow. That's definitely not low water yet by any means, but fish are going to be looking up, and I think the big streamer bite's probably over for most people, but the small streamer bite's still fun, and the best time of the year, the topwater season, is on the horizon. So dead drifting bugs is going to be the thing for the next few months here.
Yeah, and then probably what on the streamer front, probably like small changers, things like that.
Yeah, finesse changers, Murdich minnows, shimmering minnows, deceivers. I mean, anything that's going to be a slim profile and sub 3.5 inches.
Well, there you go. And, folks, we love questions at the Articulate Fly. You can email them to me. You can DM me on social media. We want to keep Brendan's life as simple as possible, and I'll manage the asshat and non-asshat questions. And if we use your question, I will send you some Articulate Fly swag. And Brendan is in the process of putting together a pretty good bunch of goodies from him, from the Logjam folks, from the House of Fly folks. You want to tell folks a little bit more about that?
Yes, and it's not House of Fly, it's House Fly from these guys.
I'm sorry, the House of Fly guys are the guys on the West Coast, right?
Yes.
All right, my bad.
But I totally understand the mix-up. It happens all the time.
It makes me feel not so bad. So you want to tell folks a little bit more about kind of what you're pulling together, and I know you're still working on it a little bit.
Yeah, so we're going to get some stickers and some merchandise from Logjam and my buddies at Housefly, and I'll throw in a Ruch angling hat as well and a couple stickers. So it's going to be, if you're into any one of those companies, you're probably in all three. So should be a nice little prize pack.
Super cool. And you want to let folks know where they can reach out to you and book in fish with you this summer?
Yeah, at Brendan Ruch on Instagram, Ruch Angling on Facebook. And come out and fish. I think it's going to be a solid summer. I don't see any weird weather patterns. Doesn't feel like it's going to be a weird year.
Yeah. And then I guess if your groupies want to find you, I know that you're kind of a regular on the Tuesday night tying stuff with the Logjam folks. Anywhere else folks can find you?
As of right now, I don't have anything else on the horizon besides the Ruch Report and Logjam Live on Tuesdays at 8:35 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, that's an insanely specific time for you guys. It's kind of weird.
I think he's doing it on purpose. I think it's like a Seinfeld bit.
Yeah, I would throw my hat in and say just, go for 8:37, but that's just me.
Split the difference.
Exactly. Well, listen, folks, as I always say, you owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Brendan.
Take care, Marvin. Thanks.